Hey doc, is it normal that I still feel excited about life at 76? That's what Mr. Raymond asked me last week. He walked into my office in a denim jacket that had seen a few decades, smelling faintly of basil, fresh from the garden he still tends to every morning. His hands were rough but steady. His eyes, bright like a boy who had just seen his first snowfall. Raymond is 76 years old, and he's not coasting. He's cooking every day. He walks unaided. He still jokes with his grandkids and, get this, he files his own taxes, on time, every April. As he sat down across from me, he leaned in and asked, "I'm not bragging, but is this normal, or am I just weird?" I smiled. "No, Raymond, you're not weird. You're rare. You're a gem. Today, I want to tell you something you may not hear often enough. If you're over 70 and can still do the following 9 things, you're not just surviving. You're thriving. You're proof that aging doesn't mean fading. It means refining. Let's walk through them, one by one. And maybe, just maybe, you'll recognize a little bit of yourself along the way. Before you settle in, go ahead and tap like and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy the kind of stories I share here. 1. You can still walk without support. This one sounds simple, but don't let that fool you. If you can get out of bed, stretch your legs, put one foot in front of the other and walk unaided, even if it's just down the block, you are a walking miracle. See, walking takes a lot more than we give it credit for. It requires your joints to be stable, your muscles to fire in sync, your balance system to keep you upright, and your circulation to deliver oxygen where it needs to go. Think about it. When babies take their first steps, we cheer, we record, we celebrate. Why don't we do that at 75? We should, because walking means freedom. It means independence. It means you can still move through the world on your own terms. So next time you take a walk, don't just count steps, count blessings. 2. You can remember names, dates, and daily tasks. Wait, what day is it again? If you don't find yourself asking that too often, congratulations. Your brain is doing beautifully. Being able to recall names, appointments, your kids' birthdays, or even what you were going to grab from the pantry is no small thing. Memory is tied to brain health, blood flow, nutrition, sleep, and even mood. When someone in their 70s or 80s can still track conversations, tell a great story from 1959, or remember their neighbor's dog's name, that tells me their neurons are alive and well. Your memory isn't fading, it's evolving. Maybe you're slower to recall a word, but your wisdom, that's sharper than ever. 3. You cook your own meals. Let's talk about the kitchen. If you're still chopping vegetables, marinating meat, planning meals, and setting your own table, you're doing more than feeding your stomach. You're feeding your soul. Cooking is a full-body, full-brain activity. It requires hand strength, coordination, executive thinking, planning, timing, taste, and decision-making. It's also emotional, because food is memory. You don't just make soup, you recreate your mother's kitchen. You don't just bake a pie, you send your love to a grandchild through cinnamon and crust. And if you can still handle a stove, remember where the spices are and enjoy the smell of garlic sizzling. Then you are, my friend, a marvel. Cooking for yourself says this: I matter. I'm still in charge of this body and this home. And I say, keep stirring, keep tasting, keep living. 4. You manage your own finances. Here's a tricky one. It's one most people don't like to talk about. Money. If you can still manage your checkbook, remember when bills are due, understand your savings, and even navigate online banking, you are showing not just intelligence, but independence. Cognitive decline often first shows up in the way people handle money. Struggling to make simple calculations, forgetting recurring payments, becoming vulnerable to scams. But if you still feel confident with your finances, whether that's in an Excel sheet or an envelope system, you're standing strong. Financial independence is more than money, it's dignity. And when you don't have to ask your kids for help, or only ask when you choose to, That's a quiet kind of power. 5. You can stand up from a chair without using your hands. Try it right now. Sit in a sturdy chair, cross your arms, stand up. Can you do it? That little motion tests your core strength, your quads, your balance, and your confidence. It's a better predictor of independence than most people realize. Because when you can get up easily, you're more likely to avoid falls. You're more likely to go places. You're more likely to stay engaged with life. If you can rise up without support, you can face anything. 6. You can read without a magnifier. If you're reading this, without squinting, without extra tools, you're already ahead of the curve. Eyes change as we age. Cataracts, macular degeneration, dry eye, and lens stiffening make reading harder. But if you can still cozy up with a book, scan the paper, or read your grandkids' handwriting, you're holding on to something precious. Connection. Because when you can read, you can still explore, still learn, still feel part of this wild, beautiful, messy world. 7. You engage in conversations easily. Sorry, what was that? Hearing loss, slowed processing, and social withdrawal often steal one of life's greatest joys, conversation. But if you can still chat with the cashier, joke with your neighbor, or tell a story around the dinner table, you're keeping one of your greatest tools sharp, your connection to others. Socializing isn't just fun. It prevents depression. It sharpens memory. It keeps you alive longer. So if you're still keeping up in conversation, don't downplay that. Celebrate it. Your voice still matters. Use it. 8. You have a hobby you enjoy. This might be the biggest gift of all. If you have something you enjoy, anything, gardening, fishing, painting, puzzles, journaling, singing in the shower, you are holding on to joy. And joy is fuel. Play is often mistaken for childishness, but in fact, play is the highest form of vitality. It's what tells your body and brain, we're still in this. Hobbies improve circulation, reduce anxiety, sharpen the mind, and create purpose. Even if it's as simple as feeding the birds every morning or watching the sunset each evening. If it fills your cup, it matters. 9. Your heart is broad. You don't compare yourself to others. And finally, the rarest gem of all. If you're no longer bothered by who has the better car, the bigger house, or the louder grandchildren, if you've stopped comparing and started appreciating, then your heart is not just beating, it's expanding. You've embraced life as it is, not how it used to be, not how others say it should be. And that, my friend, is peace. That is grace. That is wisdom. Final words. Maybe your knees creak. Maybe your back tightens after gardening. Maybe you nap more than you used to. But if you recognize even a few of these signs in yourself, don't let anyone tell you that you're slowing down. You're ripening, deepening, strengthening in ways younger people haven't yet imagined. And if you see these signs in someone you love, tell them they're doing well, that they're rare, that they're not just alive, they're living. And remember, you're not broken, you're just running strong. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms. And please consider subscribe for more videos like this.